let's get into it. Top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. All right, so I'm not too shocked that Aaron Rodgers is number one.
I was stunned that Aaron Rodgers was number one.
Were you?
I was stunned.
Back-to-back MVPs.
If you're going to go old guy, Tom Brady's the right call.
Nah, back-to-back MVPs for Aaron Rodgers. Look, we get into this conversation all the time of Tom Brady's got all the hardware, but when you're talking about greatest quarterbacks of all time or best quarterbacks of all time, it's routinely Aaron Rodgers is the best. He has the best skill set, the best arm, all of the things that you want. He just doesn't have 7 Super Bowl titles to go along with it.
And look, I have no qualm with Aaron Rodgers. One, I have the top 5 being Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Joe Burrow. Is that the order I have them in? Not even kind of close. But I don't have any qualm with that. Where my qualm starts is at 6. If you, honest to God, think Matthew Stafford is the 6th best quarterback in this league, ahead of Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, which we'll talk about that later,
right,
and Lamar Jackson, who didn't even make the list, I'm going to need you to show your work on that,
right,
because that does not make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, maybe this is that he's been around for a long time. You know, the NFL execs are much better than Burger King is at rewarding longevity. Did you see that story, by the way? The guy who had worked at 27 years at Burger King and never missed a day, and they sent him like a bag of – there was a Starbucks plastic cup and a bag of Reese's and some pens and some keychains. Like, come on. It's been 27 years.
If you made it 27 years at Burger King and your cholesterol didn't look like your zip code, then frankly, that's all the longevity you need.
This guy did not look like he had been stealing fries off the assembly line. No, he did not. But anyway, yeah, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the longevity argument here for Matthew Stafford. Finally won a Super Bowl. I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Matthew Stafford's a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I have no qualm with him being discussed here. Him being ahead of Lamar Jackson is a level of stupid that I'm not sure I can wrap my head around.
Right.
And that leads us into our 12 bones question of the day, which is if you had to start a franchise in the NFL with any quarterback, obviously age, salary, all of those things come into play, who would it be? One calendar day. Would you like to hear the list of people that said Matthew Stafford?
Yes.
Would you like to hear it again?
No one's starting a franchise with Matthew Stafford.
Because it's insane.
Oh, and he's
great
also
arm,
34 years old.
Great guy. Well, look, we got some of the old guys. We got some Aaron Rodgers. We got some Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. And it's the broadest of the topics, apparently, to me. What exactly does Lamar Jackson have to do to get any form of respect in this league? I was very much on he's a running back, he's a wide receiver, he's not playing quarterback in this league.
Mm.
It took me a little over a year to go, okay, I got that wrong. For as much, you can hate me, love me, whatever I will admit when I'm wrong.
Right.
I was wrong on Lamar Jackson. And I feel like year over year over year, we just keep compounding this with you'll never actually buy in. Is there a more disrespected quarterback in this league than Lamar Jackson?
No.
I don't even think one's in.
I think Derek Carr comes the closest.
He's another one that's in the discussion. But you're talking, I have him at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Him being in the other receiving votes, okay, that's fine. Lamar Jackson's my 6. And I'll be honest with you, I considered having him higher than that.
Right.
I just couldn't physically put him above the top 5. And I don't know what you're supposed to do. Who's the best receiver he's ever played with? Mark Andrews?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we're including tight ends, you go straight receivers, it's Hollywood Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And you still don't get this? You don't get that this has been one of the most consistent franchises in the NFL. Yes, they had to build a system around him, but that's kind of the point. He's that good that they went, okay, we'll scrap everything.
Mm-hmm.
When he was drafted, there was virtually nothing on this team that worked with him because it was built for Joe Falco. Big arm, 17-foot-tall Joe Falco. Over the course of time, they've had to completely redo this roster to build around him. Hadn't mattered. Still makes the playoffs. But he didn't make the playoffs last year. Yeah, because the team was dead.
Mm-hmm.
The team's life insurance was as high as Tank's was driving that old Durango.
Oh, I already miss her.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No,
I
don't.
don't. No, I don't.
That
I
was a
love my
lie.
new 2017 Rogue from Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
As well you should.
Yeah, as I do.
Does it have air conditioning?
It better.
It does. I'll answer that. I can promise you it does.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
The other one didn't.
Has the backup camera on it and everything. It's technology I never expected to have in a car. Lamar Jackson, I think, yes, he is probably the most underrated quarterback in this league at the moment. Did it surprise you that Deshaun Watson's name wound up on this list, despite all of the things that are going on?
No, that didn't surprise me because on talent alone, I understand how you can put him in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
However, there was another name on this list that is dumb, da-dum-dum, and after the break, we'll tell you who that is and why.
All right, ESPN did the poll of the 50 anonymous execs around the NFL to get the top 10 quarterbacks list, and it is okay. It's okay, but you left Lamar Jackson out of the top 10.
Which is insane. And then it gets more insane when you find out who 10 is.
And the 10th spot went to Dak Prescott.
Really? Really?
I don't get it.
That means that if you average out 50 people in this league, they actually think Dak Prescott is better than Lamar Jackson.
Which is crazy to me. I mean, does he have a better arm than Lamar?
Yes.
Is he more accurate than Lamar? Maybe.
Yes. I mean, by percentage, you know.
Is he as dynamic as Lamar,
Good
though?
Lord,
Does
no.
he affect the outcome of a game like Lamar?
Good Lord, no.
No. I am baffled. Like, I'm one of these guys. It's like Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. He's way better than I ever thought he was going to be. When he was drafted out of Texas A&M, wasn't it Texas A&M? Mississippi State. Mississippi State. When he was drafted out of Mississippi State in the 4th round, I was like, oh, I felt as good about that pick as I did about the Kellen Mond pick for the Minnesota Vikings. Like, he might be something usable one day. He's done way better than I ever thought he would.
He's a good quarterback.
He is a good quarterback, but he ain't better than Lamar Jackson.
And that's where the 12 bones question of the day comes in. If you're starting a franchise, Dak Prescott's 28.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson is not that much younger than him. So if you really honestly think he's that much better, put your money where your mouth is. All right, you go with Dak.
Right.
You I hate to use the pun here of Cowboys. You saddle that up and ride it because I don't think you're going to like how it goes. He has had virtually every advantage you could possibly ask for. And he's been great and won absolutely nothing.
Right. And
Lamar Jackson's had me as his third receiver.
And he's won absolutely nothing. I mean, he won a couple of playoff games, but
it's just more than Dak Prescott
this is
has ever
true.
won.
This is true. I'm just saying, and in the grand scheme of things, in that old tried and true Jeremy Greene way, if you ain't winning championships, you might as well just pick first.
And here's the thing, and this is going to get a little cyclical when I say it. For where I thought Lamar Jackson would be as a quarterback in this league, the fact he's won playoff games means more than damn near any other quarterback in the league has ever accomplished outside of Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't have an NFL-level arm. I've never thought he had a great arm. But he has found a way to do all of the things that you have to do and turned himself into a winning quarterback. Now, granted, he's with a good franchise. I understand that. Dak Prescott is too.
Mm-hmm.
Dak's had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. Would every one of those not be the best receiver that Lamar Jackson ever played with?
Mm-hmm.
And yet we still throw shade at him.
Yes.
Contract negotiations come up, and I'm guilty of this. Well, yeah, you just want to continue to see it because it's not going to age all that well. I don't care how it's going to age. Right now, there are a handful you would take over him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the young guys and the two grizzled old vets.
Yep.
If you had to win one game right now.
I went back and looked at the last time you and I revised our top 40 quarterbacks list was in May, as I have it on my sheet here. Dak Prescott for me was 13. I feel like that's pretty good.
That's probably where he would be for me.
Yeah.
I had him at 12, one spot behind Deshaun Watson.
I had Derek Carr at 11.
I have him at 10.
So
because to me, I would rather have Derek Carr than Dak Prescott. Statistically, they're practically the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's gone through full seasons where Andre Holmes was his number one receiver.
Right.
And I'll give you the one that I saw, and I can't take credit for this. I saw it on Twitter earlier. Would Dak Prescott have gotten the Las Vegas Raiders to the playoffs last year?
No.
I agree with you. Would Dak Prescott have had the Baltimore Ravens within one cataclysmic failure in a monsoon against the Steelers away from being in the playoffs last year?
No,
no, because I've seen it. I've already seen him do this. I've seen him play the season out with the crippled roster that and it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
When everything's right, okay, yeah, good. He can take advantage of what's out there.
Right.
But in terms of am I tying myself to that? No, I'm not. And the fact that there were people that are high-level executives in this league that had Dak as high as 7. Do you realize what that means? That means there's somebody in this league that's a high-ranking executive that has him ahead of Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
That means at the very least there's one. And there were enough to keep this reasonably close.
Right.
Which is just dumbfounding to me.
It's borderline criminal that you think that he's better than those guys. Not saying he's a horrible quarterback. We've already said he's a good quarterback. But when it comes to top 10, you're talking the elite of the elite.
He's the three cheese chicken penne of the NFL.
Yes.
That's what he is. Nobody in the history of creation has ever eaten that dish and gone, my God, that is the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. Also, no one has ever walked away from it and gone, I wouldn't feed that to my dog.
Mm-hmm.
You're not great. You're fine. Substantive. But here's the thing about, and I've long had this theory. This theory plays to something else that I will tell you in the, I'll tell you this in reprehensible takes because it kind of ties into Zach Wilson, which is our subject du jour today, if you're a member of the House of Reprehensibles. The thing about the three cheese chicken penne is when you really break it down, man, that's a lot of carbs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of carbs. It's fine, and it's substantive, but it's a lot of carbs for what it is. And that's kind of how I look at Dak. It's a lot of money for what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Is he – so the one also receiving votes was Kirk Cousins. Be really honest with yourself. If those two quarterbacks traded places, Kirk was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott was the quarterback of the Vikings, how much do you change either of them?
I would say I would think virtually nothing changes for Dallas, and Minnesota would be slightly worse.
And I think Dallas would be slightly better.
Really?
I do. I think Dallas would be slightly better.
Maybe so.
I think they would be slightly better. And that's where it came down to me when I was doing the list, is I asked myself that question with a slew of different combos. If Dak was the quarterback of the Raiders, do they make the playoffs? No. All right, so Derek Carr has to be ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a very simplistic way of looking at it. But then you just get down the rabbit hole, and there's another quarterback that we haven't even spoken on yet. And I'm fully of the belief that he's going to be my NFL Russell Westbrook.
We'll tell you who that is coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville. So, Jeremy, still talking top 10 NFL quarterbacks. The ESPN list, the poll from the anonymous 50 executives around the NFL came out today, and you teased before the break that there is, your Russell Westbrook of the NFL is on this list?
I'm just never going to get it. I'm convinced that I'm never going to get it. You're seeing something that I'm not seeing. It's Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can watch the last 4 weeks of last season. I'm not going to tell you he's not an electric runner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. It's too easy to mitigate him. And to put him in the same class with Lamar Jackson is really, to me, that's disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
One of these guys is a high-level quarterback in this league. Is Kyler probably a better thrower of the football? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't think it's by as much as people want to claim.
Maybe not. I mean, as far as quarterbacks throwing the ball down the field, we've seen the analytics say Kyler was the best one in the league last year.
Yeah, and analytics are great. Watch the games. As soon as teams figured out, we send pressure up the middle, you're irrelevant. Because he's just a little tiny feller, just a little short guy. And I just look at it and go, there's nothing there. Yes, you're athletic. You're athletic, and I'm sure that will get you the 7 seed in the NFC playoffs, and then you just get scattered, smothered, and covered. But I would argue there's never been a bigger discrepancy between the top 10 and everybody else.
Okay, let's use the same the same example that you used earlier with Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott. You swapped them on teams, what would happen? So let's do Kyler and Dak. Do you not feel like if Kyler was playing for the Dallas Cowboys and had better protection up the middle, like you say, that he would be looked at as a better quarterback in this league?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
I think, and Bill Buttigieg in our YouTube comments said, I don't think Kyler Murray's a real leader. And trust me, there's a part of that I'm holding against him.
Oh, as you
I
should.
think he had as much to do with that Cardinals meltdown last year as anybody else did. Now, could he come out and prove me wrong? Sure. And if he does, I'll admit I was wrong. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you haven't seen anything in the offseason, especially to dissuade you from that.
This
because
is a team that's on
me.
fire. All right, if you really look at the Arizona Cardinals and you're really honest with yourself, this is a team that's on fire. And you know who's been pouring gas on it since about the second they walked out of University of Phoenix Stadium for the last time?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. I'm good. I'm out. I'm Seacrest out. I want nothing to do with him.
Right. Scrubbing the team from his Instagram account, all the mixed messages that have been sent out over the offseason from his people to the front office of former teammates talking about how, wishy-washy, I guess he is with a lack of a better term.
Is that's a legal term, right?
Yeah, wishy-washy.
Okay.
Yeah, they put that
it's in the dictionary.
Yeah. But I mean, you can see it. You can see it in him. When the going gets tough, Kyler gets going. And by going, I mean
going out the door.
Yeah, just turn his back and go, okay, this is done.
And I will use the converse of what you just said. If Dak Prescott was in Arizona, would you not feel better about that team?
Absolutely.
And to me, it's not even close.
I think Dak's a great leader.
I do too. I think Dak has, if I could turn those two guys into one player, now we're talking.
Right.
Now we got a guy that's probably better than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Now if I could take the leadership and the intangibles of Dak Prescott with the just sheer talent of Kyler Murray, that's a top 10 quarterback. The problem is I don't think either one of them have what the other one has. Dak does more with less than I could argue about any quarterback in this league in terms of physical tools.
Okay.
Because I don't think he does anything crazy well. I don't think he has the biggest arm. I don't think he's the most accurate. He's athletic enough. That's why long ago I called him the enough quarterback. He is everything enough. But for me, I would rather have Dak that does more with less than Kyler that does less with more.
Being a top quarterback in the NFL, you have to have it together upstairs.
And he doesn't.
And Kyler just doesn't.
And we have seen this time and time again.
Kyler's like the Kevin Durant of the NFL. Gets all in his feelings and will just abandon ship when things are going sideways.
That's not a bad comparison, I'll be really honest with you.
I mean, mentally speaking, Kyler Murray is a great athlete. And we know he's a hell of a baseball player, and he's a really good quarterback. But if you don't have it upstairs and you don't have the leadership, then you can't win in this league.
No, and that's when I saw his name mentioned with Lamar Jackson, I'm not going to lie. As somebody I have zero vested interest in the Baltimore Ravens, other than if they win the Super Bowl, you will not see me until about the time the season kicks off because I'm going to be on a yacht with my new friends.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have no vested interest in the Ravens. I was on the Cardinals bandwagon early.
You were.
Because I'm looking at this going, this team is really talented. The scheme is good. I like all of those things. And then it was, okay, every one of these pieces has a but to it. Cliff Kingsbury's scheme is really innovative. But in a close game situation, I'll take practically every coach in the league over him. Kyler Murray is super talented. But in a close game situation, I'm going to lean on a Lamar Jackson. I'm going to lean on a Ryan Tannehill because I think they have it. They have that leadership aspect that I've just never seen in Kyler. And we should be talking about that team ascending. Now, take the DeAndre Hopkins suspension out of it. But in terms of sheer talent, they're way more talented than they were 3 years ago. Then why do I feel so much worse about them than I did a year ago? It all ties back to him.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN. Asheville pre-training camp previews continue next. We're going to talk about the Miami